Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. Oh my god, I can hear myself twice. Hold on. I can't do that. Oh, at least I sound okay. I'm hoping the mic stays okay for a little while. I got a camera, guys. Not really. I have my phone. Um, why am I sitting so far to one side? What? There we go. Sorry about this situation. It's like the best place I can have it where it doesn't sound absolutely god awful in general. So, I'm currently studying. I have a big test on Thursday, so I'm studying for that right now. But I need distractions. I need a brain break kind of situation. So, I figured we'd give the stream a go again because I haven't streamed in I don't even know how long. At least probably before my son was born. By the way, I had a baby. he's he's next to me right now, sleeping his little heart out. Um, yeah, a lot of stuff has changed and not changed at the same time. I don't really know the best way to explain. I'm living back with my mom, which is fine. It's financially better at the moment. Um, I'm gonna put my music on a little lower in the back. Hopefully it's not really loud. Here, let me. See, I want to listen to myself and make sure it sounds okay, but I also can't tell if it sounds okay because I am hearing it normally in the headphone. I don't even see it freaking coming up. There we go, I think. Should be quite low. If it's loud, let me know and I'll turn it down. Um, it's currently playing in my ear though, so I can't fully tell if it's loud or not. He's a fidgeting. Sad little boy. He's sitting right next to me at the moment. I just need a distraction. I'm studying for my realtor exam and I'm stressed out and I need some form of distraction, so I thought it'd be fun to test out the new internet. Cause it's bad. But I thought it would be um entertaining to maybe do Am I the Asshole? Is anyone interested in that? My nose feels like it's running, and I know it's not, but it does feel like that right now. Okay, I think I just have to look up Reddit and then search up Am I the Asshole? I don't use that Reddit like at all. I don't even have an account. I'm just on here. I wonder if someone updated the one I read the other day on my channel, which if you're interested, I started reading Am I the Assholes on my channel. On my second channel. That's linked somewhere in Twitch. It's called the VOD channel. But I read a couple of different stories and I'm curious to see if any of them got an update. My nose feels like it's running. I don't know what to do. There's ads on here. Did you guys know there was ads? Why is it these threads are like not in order at all, are they? Guys, hold on. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I was born in a car? Did you lie about it? Like, why would you be the asshole in this scenario? I'm so confused by that statement. Is it bad? I want to read that. It says he's the asshole. Or she's the asshole. I don't, it doesn't really say. But it says they are the asshole. I don't know what that means. Why would you say that they think you're an asshole? Like, did you lie about it? Did you lie that you were born in a car? Were you actually born in a car? Let me. Hold on. There we go. Can't really see it. I might just leave my face on the screen for now. Sorry if I'm sniffling and you guys can hear it really well. I genuinely feel like my nose is running. There's skin on my nose? There is. It's like a little patch of skin on my nose. How rude. Okay. I'm gonna read this though, because I'm genuinely curious if they're the asshole. I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused. So it says, am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I was born in a car? Says, I've been with my girlfriend for over 5 years, over which time I've told her a few fairy stories that were more like practical joke time bombs than lies. Okay, I'm already thinking you're the asshole in this scenario. I always expected them to get found out. You know what I mean? No, I don't. Like, I like to tell stories, but like, no, I don't know what you mean. One of them was that I was born in the Australian bush far from a hospital. And it says, parentheses, true. And when my mother went into labor, my father rushed to the to the hospital in his. Okay, and I don't know what the word is, but in parentheses it says Australian pickup truck. So we're gonna go with that. That is also true, apparently. But didn't make it on time. False. And had to deliver me himself in the back tray. Oh, the language barrier is starting to hurt me right now. I'm actually like in pain from the language barrier right now. They're talking about the bed of the truck that they delivered, that his father delivered him in the bed of the truck. This was also false. Being a bushy, I don't know what that means. He'd delivered plenty of calves, like a farmer. Lambs and fowls. Foals? That's the word. It wasn't a big deal. Okay, so that part's just like a true thing, I guess. Hello? He's trying to fight to wake up. I thought was just a bit funny, and I expected one day to be caught. Anyway, at my parents' place last weekend, my girlfriend brought it up to my father just in passing. My mother laughed, stopped her, and got her to recite the whole story as I told it. Instead of everyone laughing at the hoax, they're all mad at me and don't understand what would motivate me to make up such a story. Now my girlfriend won't speak to me, says she can't trust me and that it's all over. The thing is that's just one of several pranks I've told her. There are more ticking away. Am I the asshole for pranking her, or does she just not have a sense of humor? Okay, I feel like this should like be important to say that a prank and a joke are both short-term situations. How long have you been telling your girlfriend that? When did you tell her this story? Was it early on in the relationship? You've been with her for over 5 years now. Like this one specifically, I'm not even going to get into the fact that you said more to her. It's okay, Bubba. Um, like, how many of these have you told her? But like, when did you tell her this specific one? Was it very early on in your relationship, or was it really recent? And were you ever planning on actually telling her that it was a prank or a joke? I don't consider these pranks. I consider these jokes. However, not funny jokes. Because again, those are time sensitive situations. If you tell someone something like this as a joke, and then you don't tell them for years that it was a joke, you're the asshole. You're absolutely the asshole, because that should be like the next day you tell them is the latest you should be telling them the truth. Or like you could have told her and then go, actually, that's just a joke. Some of it at least was shortly afterwards. Like that's the appropriate way to go about that, not by um how do I preface this? Not by keeping this lie going for years, probably, from how bad she reacted, and then thinking it was funny when she finally brought it up to your family. And you still didn't stop her before she recited the whole thing. Like, of course you're the asshole in this situation. Um, the first comment says fairy stories equals lies, pranks equals lies, practical joke bombs equals lies. Your girlfriend found out you're a liar. If she stuck around any longer, she'd find out you're a habitual. I'm gonna go with like constant liar. Um, like many possibly most women, she's unwilling to be in a relationship with someone she can't trust. I understand that. Lies about random shit for no discernible reason can erode trust even more. It makes every single thing you say completely untrustworthy. How could you build a relationship with someone like that? It says you are the a-hole. This is the extremely predictable result of your decisions. You might want to do some serious self reflection, perhaps with the guidance of a therapist, if you can, to understand why you feel compelled to lie before you start another new relationship. Yeah, I get that. I don't I really don't consider those jokes because she probably has been thinking this is true for lies. The next comment says, "You're the asshole. They aren't really jokes, just straight up lies. You embarrassed your girlfriend and made her look and feel stupid in front of your family. It's entirely plausible that you were born in the back of a car. It happens all the time because people don't make it to the hospital. My dad is a cop and has delivered a baby in the back of a car after pulling over a speeding vehicle. It's not some outlandish thing that would make it obvious you're joking. Your girlfriend wants to know this information because she wants to know you, and you're making it one big joke at her expense. Grow up." And it says, "Edit, thank you for the award, kind stranger." I don't know what that means. I'm not on Reddit. I have no idea what he means by award. Um, but yay, congratulations. Okay, so very off topic. It's about babies and deliveries and stuff. Um, I went into labor at home, obviously. I think most people do. I didn't realize I was in labor until very late stages of labor. So by the time I was going to the hospital, I was in immense amount of pain. My contractions were so close apart or so close together that my best friend genuinely thought she was going to have to deal with me having the baby in her car because she's the one that drove me because my husband was at work. Um, but the thing I was thinking was about this last comment that I read about the oh, my back just cracked. I don't know if you heard that. My God. Um, about the speeding his like their dad delivering a baby in the back of a car after pulling them over for speeding. So my husband, I think, I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to check this. He got pulled over at least twice, maybe three times from the town over. So we're in one town. The hospital is over here in another town. Technically, it's like 30-minute drive at most. And then he was at this town, which was another 30-minute drive. So it was about an hour drive. I think his family, because he went to the job that he was doing, allowed him to get a little bit of help from his family. It was just like a fun little outing for them. Um, his family was with him driving from this town over to this town, and to get to the hospital, and it turned like an hour drive into like I think 15 minutes because I was leaving my house with my best friend and I called him and I go, I'm in labor, you need to get to the hospital right now. And he goes, okay, I'll be there. And apparently they got pulled over a couple times, or something like that, and they just informed the officer of the situation and why they were going so fast. And I guess my best friend, I don't remember this. I don't remember most of the beginning or midpoints of my labor. Um, I was rough labor, so I don't remember most of it. Um, she called him to check where he was at one point in time because we got to the hospital, got me checked in, which was a tediously long um process. Can we like expedite the checking in process, please? Like, if I'm in there and I'm already laboring and I'm in pain and I'm screaming in pain, do not ask me like 20 questions about myself before checking me in. Ask me my name, ask me my doctor. That is all the information you should need to know. And then after I have the kid, then you can ask me the rest of the questions. They didn't do that though, but I was so pissed off by that. Um, But by the time we got into the hospital and checked in, they took me to get checked because they're supposed to check you before they can take you to a laboring room. They're supposed to check you to see how far along you are in the labor. I was 9 centimeters dilated. And if you don't know anything about pregnancy and having babies, you typically have your baby after 10 centimeters dilation. That's the max dilation, to my understanding. I don't know, I could be wrong. But they want you to be 10 centimeters dilated before you start pushing. And I was at 9 by the time we got to the hospital, so I was pretty far into the labor already. And they literally pulled me in, checked my cervix, and then immediately goes, she's a 9, we need to go to the room right now. So they just immediately took me from one room. They walked me into one room, got me down on the bed, checked me, and immediately wheeled me to labor and delivery. Unfortunately, the birth of my child didn't end up coming for another like 6 hours after that. Awesome. But that's due to different complications and other stuff, which I can't go into if you're interested. I'm actually thinking about doing a video on my second channel about my labor and delivery story, because it was rough and it should have been handled way better than it was. But I need my husband to be awake for that because I don't recall almost all of my labor. There is so much I don't recall because of how bad it was. Um, But they got me into the other room, they were trying to get me comfortable, trying to get me prepared to have this kid, and I refused to have this child before my husband showed up. But on the way to the wheel, to the other room, the labor and delivery room, I think my best friend called my husband again to go, "Where the hell are you? She's at 9, hurry up," kind of situation. And he had gotten pulled over while on the phone with her, and apparently I screamed, and the officer heard it and goes, "Oh my god, go." I'm grateful for that officer. Thank you, because he's like, "I'll let them know that you're on the way. Don't worry, you won't get stopped again." um, but I'm grateful for that officer because I was so determined not to have the kid until he was there, which ended up not happening. But my water popped, and I mean actually popped. That's a whole thing. Um, like 5 minutes before he arrived. So yeah, but that was just my thought on that comment. I thought that was funny. Should we read another one? That was kind of fun. The ones I read on my channel, kind of bad. I mean, I considered all of them, almost all of them, the asshole in the scenario. There was like two of them that I didn't, two or three that I didn't actually consider assholes because it was ridiculous, the situation. But the first one I read was about miscarriage, and that was, I put like a disclaimer and everything in my video because I know that can be rough for some people. And I know I was scared of that the entire pregnancy, so. But they were heavy topics, and these are like funny topics. And I'm kind of grateful for that because those were heavy. And the miscarriage one, the situation that happened with that one, I wanted to murder someone. I was so angry for this person. Um, uh, oh, this is update. Oh, there's original post link. Thank you. Because I was an update, I want to read this one. It says, "Am I the asshole for telling my mom it wasn't cute or funny to dress me as a hot dog instead of a princess? For like Halloween? Is that what's going on?" Okay, so I have. Oop! Just chucked the page onto my other screen on accident and just messed everything up. Um, so Reddit has deemed that this was posted 6 months ago, and the update was 2 days ago, and Reddit has already deemed them not the asshole. So it says, so there's a new Target commercial going around where a little girl dresses as a hot dog, and it came on while my family was watching a scary movie. Scary movies, not for me. I, 20 female, am home from college for the weekend and brought my boyfriend, and my mother, 57 female, decided it would be hilarious to mention that she'd made me a hot dog costume as a kid, except the way she told the story, it was my request. Oh, I feel these kind of situations. I have like so many parent situations where my parents will tell someone a story and they make it out like it was like my choice or my decision or something funny, and it never is. It literally never is. um she said that all the girls wanted to be Disney princesses, but I had asked to be a hot dog, and so she'd gone out of her way to make me that costume. I can already tell that your mother's a bitch. This is not what happened, and I said as much. What actually happened is that I wanted to be Snow White and had told everyone, including the teachers, that I was going to be Snow White. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid to the point where I would actually get invested in doing chores because I was cleaning up just like Snow White. Man, I was not like that as a kid. I bet your parents enjoyed that a little bit. Um, my dad and I would watch the movie all the time, and I was very excited to be Snow White for Halloween, especially because my ballet studio was doing a special, it says princess dance for Halloween, and we'd all signed up for special princess slots, and I'd shown up early with my dad the week before so I could get to be Snow White. Oh, I feel bad for you. I hope your dad bought a Snow White dress. Um, my mother decided that she wanted to be quirky and that Snow White was a bad role model after I got in trouble for trying to cook dinner for my family. Oh no. I was about 8 and I tried to make hot dogs like how she made food for the dwarves in the movie, and I made a mess. My mom surprised me of on the day of with this crappy hot dog suit and told me if I didn't wear it, she'd never let me watch Snow White again. You motherfucking bitch. She took a million pictures, and other girls teased me for months, and it was one of the most humiliating moments of my childhood. Dude, this is what I mean when I say that my parents will tell stories and make them out as like funny stories, and majority of the time it's really, really not, and it really upsets me. This is what I mean. I told the real story and mentioned that I got through the day by pretending that she was the evil queen, making me dress in rags, but the rags happened to be a garbage meat costume. She got really quiet after that, and after we left, my brother says she was crying and looking at the pictures from that Halloween. I didn't want to make my mom cry, but it's a shitty memory for me, and it felt like she was trying to humiliate me all over again in front of my boyfriend. That's fair. It says TLDR. I called my mom out for forcing me to be a hot dog following and humiliating me as a child after she brought up the story pretending I'd wanted to be. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. I really don't. I understand why Reddit deemed you not the asshole. I don't think you're the asshole given how my childhood was and the stuff that some of my stories that my parents bring up, and that's really like unhappy, humiliating stories for me. So I don't think you're the asshole at all. Um Should we read the comments or should we go to the update? So it said, so a few of the comments say, not the a-hole. Wow, what a shitty move by your mom and to an 8-year-old. I'm glad you told the truth instead of for yourself. I hope she learns. Geez, what a witch. I'm sorry that happened. OP responded, I hadn't thought about it in ages until I saw that commercial, honestly. Still, even a reminder that sucks. So this is in the next comment, but this is making me laugh, and it says, your mom sounds like a real wiener. Yeah, she does. That's funny. Um, so we have not the a-hole. She clearly had a different perspective and you set her straight. Just because someone cries doesn't mean they're the victim in this, especially if the truth is that not only did you not want to wear the hot dog, but she threatened your favorite movie as a result. Wear this or else? Like, what the fuck? If this is true, it's pretty weird and messed up. I'd never forced a costume on my child. That's such a weird ass thing to do. Agreed. I always had the costumes I wanted. I did. I was an asshole. I will proudly announce that I am the asshole in some situations when it came to Halloween costumes. I would want a specific costume and I would ask for that costume, but my family either wouldn't buy the actual costume or it was a costume that you couldn't really buy, you'd have to make it. So they always made my costumes. And that's fine, that's whatever. They put a lot of work in that. And I feel bad looking back at it for how I reacted a lot of the times. Um, but when I would ask for a costume for Halloween and they'd work a long time on that costume, sometimes I was very upset with it because it wasn't what I envisioned. And that made me the asshole. And I know that. I've apologized to my mom for that a couple of times. Um, because I was a bitch. And that's my bad. Um, OP responded to this though, and it says she hated Snow White and Cinderella and Aurora. She was kind of okay with Belle and really pushed Milan and Merida on me. But those weren't the ones I was interested in. She generally hated everything I liked and was really into the whole Cinderella ate my daughter thing. Huh? She wanted us to be allies against the other moms of the town we lived in, and I just wanted her to be like the other moms, honestly, because they were nicer. Yeah, what the hell? Someone else commented, Nope, he responded. So the comment is, my mom made me dress as a clown. I am scared of clowns. She also didn't explain how the costume came off, and I publicly peed myself. Oh no, that's horrible. And Nope, he responded, okay, yours is worse. I agree, yours is worse. That's horrible. I don't think I was ever in a costume that I did not. I don't want to say did not want. I'm gonna say did not ask for. There was situations, obviously, I said that I was not always happy with the costume after it was given to me because I didn't like how it looked. That so I there was situations that I wore costumes that I did not want, but it wasn't because I didn't ask for it. It was because I didn't like what it turned out to be afterwards. I didn't feel like it was the vision that I wanted. And that happened quite often. I guess that's the unfortunate part with having some kind of idea in your head and your family insists on making everything. I love my mom and she's very talented, but I did get very upset a lot because I did not like the costumes when they made them. I think I got maybe one costume that was bought throughout my entire life, I think. Let's go to the update. Says, hi everyone. First off, I wanted to give a big thank you to all the people who reached out with kindness back in October. I was struggling a lot with whether I'd done the right thing, and getting such an overwhelming consensus definitely helped me feel better. There's a burp. There wasn't actually that much fallout from the whole situation, and I kind of forgot about it for a few months. My mom was a little awkward the next few times we saw each other, but this was all back to normal. It was all back to normal by Christmas. It didn't destroy our relationship, and I realized that a lot of my fears were just anxiety and overthinking clouding my mind. My brother made a few snide remarks, but I didn't get or give an apology, and I figured that was that. However, last weekend, my mom picked me up from work and took me to her place, saying she had a surprise and I should shower and do my hair fancy. She had all the nicest skincare and hair stuff laid out, which makes a lot which means a lot because she never been into that stuff. And when I was done, she surprised me with the most gorgeous Snow White dress I'd ever seen. Oh, this is so cute. It is genuinely stunning quality, and I couldn't believe it was actually for me. She was all dressed up as the Wicked Queen too, with the cowl and everything. I'm assuming that meant to say crown. Um, and she took me to see the new Snow White movie together. Oof. I have so many opinions on the Snow White movie. I'm not even gonna get into that, but I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it. Uh, when I told her, when I tell you I almost cried, I am not exaggerating. It was one of the best days I'd ever had with her and felt like a legit princess. When little girls came up and asked for pictures, I swear I've never enjoyed anything that much. I might actually try and get a job as a party princess if I can swing it, just because how great the experience was. You should totally do that. I'm sure little girls would love that so much. Uh, when I tell you, sorry, after the movie, which by the way is better than most people are saying, I'm going to disagree with that. I hated the new love interest, but Rachel killed it. I'm not going to get into it. She apologized for not taking my feelings into consideration when I was younger and explained that she has always wanted me to feel like I could be anyone I wanted to be and didn't have to conform, but what she did ended up being a form of formed confirmation instead. And if I wanted to be a princess, she's going to do her best to help me feel like the best princess in the world. She did explain that the hot dog costume wasn't meant to be a punishment. She honestly thought I'd think it was funny, but that she should never have gone that far without making sure I liked it. And she didn't actually ever intend to take Snow White away. I believe this. She seems truly apologetic, and I told her that she is 200% forgiven. So things are good. I'm glad I spoke up when I did, and I think my mom and I are going to be closer now, honestly. She's such a good person, and I'm really grateful to have a mother like her. Thank you. That is so cute. I'm so glad that worked out. And like, I get where she's coming from. She wanted you to learn that you didn't have to be what everyone else wanted to be, but she definitely should have gone about that a different way. Especially because you were only 8 years old. And then OP seems to be very active in the comments. I'm not gonna sit and read all of them though, but she seems to be pretty active in the comments, and it's all like happy, and everyone's congratulating her for being able to work things out with her mom, and now they're probably going to be closer. And I hope that is the truth. I hope that works out good for her. How long have I been recording? Because almost an hour. I should probably go back to studying my homework. I don't want to, but I probably need to. If you guys enjoyed the chatty stream, please let me know. It's gonna be up for a little while on the Twitch, and I will be putting it on YouTube, so don't worry if you miss the stream. It will be on YouTube. Um, I just needed a little bit of a distraction for a little bit before I go back to studying because I have to take like 6 or 7 more practice tests, and my brain hurts. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you